Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 in Parkitect, and today we've got the plane to follow us again. Whee! Today it's time to go to Batavia Cay, a lonely island steeped in legends. The previous owner built a dueling coaster here, but not much else. Finish what they started and turn this mysterious island into a tourist attraction. Scenario: have an experiences rating of at least 80%. Have at least 1,000 guests in your park. That's the biggest amount we've been asked to do so far. Optional: have an operating profit of at least $5,000. Again, that's the biggest we've been asked, but it is an optional. And optional: complete all non-optional goals, that's the 80% and 1,000 guests, by the end of July year 3. So let's take a look at the park that I built for this one. And again, you did notice that I did manage to get the gold medal, and again it was one that I wasn't sure that I could get a gold medal for. It's quite a big island, space for your building, and the dueling coaster is quite a long way from the starting exit. So what I did do is I cut off part of the park walkways when I first started the scenario, and then as we expanded further I then reopened them later when we needed the space. So the entrance for the park is here. So the guests are coming in on a ship. Isn't that ship kind of cool and cute? I like that. I think that's so cute. And all these little barrels and things here as decoration. And again, you've got this sort of open style wooden structure. So you've got the open edges as a design for your starting building. So you can use this. And again, here they've got this open wooden roof, sloping wooden roofing. If you watch the curbs at the end of the roofs, they go all the way down to the floor, not stop at the edge of the roof. So that's kind of a theme for this design here. Look, so I utilise that in my buildings as we go along. So if we just show you underneath here, so this is where your entranceway is, and they've just got this open entranceway, which I haven't done anything to. I've just left it as is. And then I've made I think it was only a single width path along here, so I've made it a triple width path, and I've put in some information booths and a cash machine, and then a fountain just to water and heat, always a good thing. Also, I've added in lots of pavilions along my queue lines to shade people from the sun as they're waiting, and I've used blue as my theme colour, and I've used the blue flowers just to decorate the path lines uniformly throughout the ride as we go. And here you can see that dueling coaster that they were talking about when we first started the scenario. So the scenario comes with these buildings here at the entranceway. It also comes with the goods receiving depot here, which has got a little key building. So this building was also part of the original design for the island. So if we take a look at that, it's got these sloping curbs down the side of the roof that just continue to the ground or to the next level, and it's got these wooden roofs and grey walls, and they've used these little slightly kinked or wobbly pillars for the building structures, and these like trellisy type fences around the edges. So use that as a bit of an inspiration for when I've been building my shopping mall here. So in front of the goods in depot I've added the staff building, so the staff training building and the staff restroom, and then right in front of that I've just added the infrastructure for the shops. And like I said, I've used the style of the building over here with these sort of wooden look roofs and the wooden look edging to the building, and the grey walls that we've got up here, look, for the side of the building right here. And I've added some shops, so I've got the balloon shop just tucked in at the edge. As you can see, I added that later as an extra right on the corner, and then along the front we've got the actual shops. So we've got a candy there, umbrellas, access for the staff, burgers, hot dogs, hot drinks and soft drinks. And as I say, I've used the continue the curb line all the way down into the ground. So it kind of looks like it's a support structure like they did over here, and as I say, I've used the design that they used for that building to extend that into my food court. And I've also used the same sort of colours in the toilet building right here, right at the side of the food court. Got some weeping willows around the edge of where the ponds are. So there's this extra big tree there, look, and then these are the normal size trees, and the blue flowers just keep going around. So we've got benches all around this food court area. Let me spin this round. So that's the toilet building, and we've got some benches here and benches just off to the side, because there wasn't a lot of space for benches right opposite the food court. I didn't want to clog up this open plaza area, so I've put benches all the way along the sides here, look, just to make sure there's lots of seating space. And then if you continue around here, so if you come back, we've got the, let's take a quick look. So right from the entrance, we start with the Ferris wheel and the carousel, very staples of fun fairs and parks as you come in, with the dodgems at this side. So you've got three big staple rides of all fun fairs and theme parks right at the very beginning. And if you branch off this way to the left, you've got the food court here, and right next to the food court we've got the double Ferris wheel overlooking the water. It's just a tiny bit further out, not in out. And right next to that we've got the Gravitron right on the edge of some rock formations and overlooking the water. So we've got all these interconnecting pathways right next to each other here, and then a wipeout. Oh, picked a person, not the ride, and an orbiter all around here. So these, as you can see, are raised up slightly so that they're all on slightly different levels. So you've got slightly different views and slightly different levels. So we're using the terrain because some of it's higher than others. So we're building things at the highest height without redoing all the terrain. And then we've got stepped up and down. So we've got lots of variation in heights coming along here. I quite like that. And then we've got the wave swinger slightly higher up on this little bit of hill just above the food court, so you can see the people swinging overhead as you go around to the food court. And you've got the teacups right next to that, again just slightly raised up from the path. Tried to keep the path 2 to 3 wide all the way around the park. And if you come past the wave swinger, you've got a path that goes underneath the dueling coasters here to bring you to the Wild Mouse coaster. And again, it's my favourite layout. It's the one in the blueprints that we always use, and here it is. This time we've got it in greens and blues to keep with our blue theme for our park here, and it interacts really well with the dueling coaster because it's sat right in the middle of the dueling coaster, and the path to and from it goes right underneath and right past the wave swinger. I'm really pleased that I managed to fit in a ride into the layout of the dueling coaster. I'm really pleased with that. Now if we come back to the path here and keep going around here past the orbiter, which is the last one that I showed you, we've got another cash machine here in a little plaza, and then we've got a car ride here. Again, this is one of the layouts that came pre-built blueprint in the rides section. This is one of the car rides. Let me get you the name of this particular ride if I can click on it. Come on, can I click on it? Oh, let me click on it. Hide my scenery so I can click on it for you. Get the right, let me. Oh, why is it not letting me click on it? Car ride state. Oh, it just says car ride state. So sorry guys. Let me see if I can remember which one it is. It's car ride. I think it might be the Jurassic Jeep Tour, guys. The Jurassic Jeep Tour, potentially. I think that's the one. I think it's the Jurassic Jeep Tour, guys. That one that we used. It's actually a really cool layout. Like, yeah, I think it is the Jurassic one. Look, 'cause it looks like it's got fences and doors for cutting between enclosures for the park, but with all the jungle trees and everything instead. And it comes with this little plaza which I've integrated in by adding in the cash machine and an info board right onto the edge of the path here. And if we continue coming around this direction, we've got one of the really compact designs from the blueprints for the go-karts, so that it fits on a really small footprint so we can get extra things in. And then right up next to this we've got a coaster. That's the Launch Force coaster. Again, it's one of the blueprints that we get with the ride builds. This one is a hydraulic launch. Let's follow it round. As you can see, it interacts close to the edge of the park and the edge of the island, and it's got lots of trees around it. So you've got great views and lots of thrilling ride scenery as you go around. There we go, there and back. It's got quite a simple little layout design building that I've just built with a few arches. Just a very simple building. And then cover the queue line again with the pavilions, and that's just up the side there next to the rides. And again, we've got some more shops over here. So we've used the wooden again, and the sort of greeny grey edging and the poles that come down into the floor like it's supported. So let me just pop that down so you can see what we've got in here. So we've got the goods delivery depot at the back here, and we've got burgers and hot dogs and hot drinks and cold drinks and umbrellas and candy. So lots of food there for people again. And then we've got some seating down here hidden underneath pavilions again, and a load of seating around this little area here for them to grab their food and then just sit and relax. And again, we're interacting with the Dueling Coaster wherever we go, because the Dueling Coaster's right in the centre and the path goes all the way around the Dueling Coaster. Right next to that we've got another coaster here. This one's the Blue Surge, which again is one of the designs that you can get from the blueprints that are already made up. Let's find there we go, these are the guys on the lift hill, and let's follow them as we go through the side. Here we go, ready for your first big drop. Here we go, hands in the air, wave them, yay, loop, loop-de-loop, and up again. And this one's got lots of little brake runs to mean that you can add extra cars. And up and down we go, a bit of air time. And here we go again, whee, little air time hill, whee, and a curly twisty snake thing back into the brake run. And again, we've got a big skyline piece here with this coaster, and it comes right to the edge of the park and overlooks lots of the other things that we've got. And then right next door to this we've got this raised, I like this style, going up to the station and then back down at the other side, so it goes up and round. And I've used these little pink plants in the pots that I really like again here for decor around the edges. Oh, all the little umbrellas, oh that's so cute. And we've got more toilets right here, lots of seating as we come around the edge here, and I've built right over the water here, so utilise as much space as we could. Again, this is one of the designs that you can get. This is the shimmering. This is one of the rides that's pre-built as well. I believe it's a monorail, so the gentle monorail. There you go, the shimmering right here, that's the one that is built here, only I've built it out over the water, so all the plants are kind of floating on the water, which maybe that's not ideal, but I thought it was kind of cute, because you've got the paths still anyway, and the monorail's up higher. It probably would be a lot better if it was flat on the water, but it also gives us this little back part so that people can sit out and just enjoy the view out the back of the station, just sitting on here to view the ocean and just chill out for a little bit after they're done with their riding. But I thought all this colourful foliage and everything in here would be really cool. Like I said, it is just floating on water, so it does look a little bit odd, but I didn't really have any more space to put it anywhere, because I utilised everything in order to get the higher income amount. I needed lots and lots of rides. And then we come back round the edge here, we're to the station for the Dueling Coaster. So if we come back to the front to the Dodgems where we first come in, so this is the entrance, and the Dodgems. The last time we went that way to where we've got the food court right over here. So this time if we come this way, so we've got a big circular path all the way around. So we've got a toilet building right here, and we've got our topple tower built onto the ocean, so we're right on the very edge. Look, the tiny little bit managed to stick outside my boundary, but they didn't seem to be worried about that. And then right opposite, using every little gap of space, we've got our Skyfall tower. Uh-oh, are they going to go? Are they going to fall? Are you going to go? Shall we watch them fall? 3, 2, 1, and oh, tip! Whoa, vertical tip, look at that. Whoa! So there you go, the Skyfall. So we're utilising every little bit of space, look, right up to the edge of the Dueling Coaster here. So built up high to utilise that slightly higher space, that little tiny gap in the corner. I've managed to fit in a little bit of foliage, another cache point right over here. Pirate ship again built out over onto the water. Great views and interaction with this Dueling Coaster everywhere you go on the island, because the whole path's built all the way around the edge. And then here we wing our way into the station. Now this station was pre-built for the Dueling Coaster. Here's the Dueling Coaster. So they're just putting people on. And there we go, at the top of the lift hill. Let's watch the Dueling Coasters. Whee! So they start off at the first hill in perfect unison. There we go, twisty. Way up and round. As you can see, it follows the path all the way around the island. Up and over. Oh, blue's slightly ahead there, look. Way. Now red takes the inside track, blue had the outside track before, and now they're back neck and neck again. Round we go. Lots of interaction with the two coasters, with each other and with everything else on the island. And all this rockwork and everything was already pre-built with the Dueling Coasters. And it's a beautiful layout for the Dueling Coasters. And then they go back into the station. Underground, look, you can see them underground here. You can see them coming round and under in order to come back up into the station. So let's take the scenery off here so that you can see inside the station. So there's a toilet building. And underneath, it's really difficult to see, but there are actually, so you've got the toilet building down the side. There is actually access underground for, see, we've got a staff depot here, look. There are actually shops under here, right, so there's a bubble tea there, look. It's really quite difficult to see what's in here. So there's a depot, there's a bubble tea right there underneath the Dueling Coaster. And if we rotate around, can we see? See, look, there's a staff path. There's the staff path. There is a staff path underground somewhere here. It's quite hard for me to see it. See, is this? Here you go, look, here's the staff path, look, comes in underneath here. And so there's so many layers to this building and everything, it's quite hard. So the staff path comes in past this goods depot and then comes out somewhere underneath the station. It's quite hard to see it actually. So you've got some seating under here again. And we've got pretzels there. So we've got pretzels there and bubble tea right next to it. And a depot down here. And access to the staff path which goes underneath. See, there's the staff path and it comes all the way over to this. There's a corner here in the staff path, so it comes under here somewhere. And I found it quite hard to see where the staff path and everything was, because it was all, especially in that section where it was all underlinked, and the staff path comes out somewhere over here under here. That's quite hard to see. There it is, look, there's the staff path. It comes through into here somehow as it comes out over here. So I found that quite difficult to follow the staff pathing, especially over, so the staff path goes the entire length of the island and then comes up under here. But with all the layers here, I found it quite difficult to see the shops and the staff path and the goods in depot. So that was quite difficult for me to figure that one out. So I just thought I'd try and show you that just so you could see how weird it was a little bit. And look, everybody with their little umbrellas and everything. So that is the park that I built. It took me a long time to build this one actually. There was so much work to do to get everything to fit in and to get the achievements to actually work. I was really happy that I managed to do that in the time frames to get the gold medal, because I really wasn't expecting to manage that. So it's a really big island here, so let's zoom all the way out so that you can see it better. So from the edge of the island here you can see that we've got our car ride, our go-karts and our two big coasters here that we've put in, and then over here we've got the gentle monorail ride. This is the Dueling Coaster that came with the game, and the Dueling Coaster takes up a huge amount of the island. Look, right, the centre of the island is all taken up with this big Dueling Coaster. That's why I really wanted to get something inside the Dueling Coaster, and in the end I did manage to get the Wild Mouse in here. I was hoping to get something else in here, but it was really difficult to get the pathing in to make things work, so I only ended up with the Wild Mouse. And then I got the drop tower just on the very corner of where the ride area is. You might be able to squeeze an extra something in if you come under here behind where the tower is. You might be able to squeeze something in here, but it's going to be elevated and quite difficult. See, this Dueling Coaster takes up so much of your island space. It was quite difficult to fit everything else in, hence why I've had the monorail on the water and the pirate ship and the topple tower both built out over the water, because where the Dueling Coaster comes, it actually doesn't leave you a lot of space. Look, so you've only got this little space here, tiny bit of space here. So I built out over the water, built out of the water here again, and then I fit a couple of coasters and a car ride, and that really took up almost all the space that we've got over here. So then I've added a few more flat rides into this section here, and that really is all the space you've got for building. So it's quite a tricky one to fit everything in to get enough people into your park to meet the goals that we've got for this particular build. So hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!